Rise FMers, rise! Welcome back to another rebuild on the YouTube channel, and today we are going back to the 2017-18 season to rebuild Wolves with a Portuguese style. Now, of course, Wolverhampton over the years have known for basically being Portugal's second team. I actually don't know the reason why, but every time I seem to see a Wolves team, it's half Portuguese, half random obscure nation. So today, I'm going to be doing a Wolves rebuild with the Portuguese twist. You're going to see some of the Wolves lads from 2017-2018 in just a moment. The Portuguese lads that are already here, but let's set some objectives early on for this rebuild. The first objective that I have for this rebuild is to always make sure I'm starting 3 Portuguese players in my starting 11 across these 5 seasons. In the first season, we need to get promoted to the Premier League from the Sky Bet Championship. Then we need to survive in the Premier League. The Premier League back here was very competitive. Once we've survived in the Premier League, we need to start to build our youth academy and find Portuguese talent to bring into Wolves. After this third season, we're going all out on a trophy hunt. We will find a trophy to lift. And the final objective is for you to like and subscribe and leave a comment on how you think I'm going to do on this rebuild. Now we've got through the objective, lads. Let's see your Seasons 1 team ready to take on the championship. Hi-ho, Wolverhampton. But here we go, boys. Here is the Wolves team in Season 1. As you can see, I've got the nation on the side. So actually this season, we've got 5 Portuguese players that we're going to be starting. Of course, boys, we have got Diogo Jota as a 20-year-old striker. He's going to be my talisman into this rebuild. He's on loan from Atletico Madrid, but at the end of his loan, I am going to try and sign him. He looks amazing for the championship. And of course, probably one of Wolves' best players ever. Whenever I talk to Wolves fans, they always talk about how good Ruben Neves was, especially in the championship when he first signed. Of course, he's got a lot of potential and he's a great player for the championship as well. As you can see, boys, we've also got Helder Costa. We've actually got a summer signing in midfield, and we've got Ruben Vinagre at left back. Let's actually take a look at them Season 1 transfers now. The first signing was a bit of an old head, Giuseppe Rossi, looking to dust off a few cobwebs, rust off the chain of his bike, if you get my gist. But now he looks pretty decent. I mean, for the championship, physicality is not as important as the Premier League, and with that finishing, first touch, composure, I expect him to chip in with a few goals. And for a freebie for 1 season, see how he does. And the next signing, we got the GOAT Rob Holding entering the building. Big Rob Holding at 21 years old. He actually looks pretty decent on this database. I mean, there's a lot of 14s. Obviously, if they were 15s in yellow, you'd think he was God's gift. Can't believe I've actually just tried to give Rob Holding my title. Ignore that. And the final loan of the window was Elise Mousset. He's coming in on loan from Bournemouth. Just looks like a decent striker, really. A bit pacey, decent finishing, you know, just decent all around the board. I'm hoping he can develop a little bit while he's here as well and help us out in the season, but he could be a great player for us. And as you've seen in midfield, boys, we signed Sergio Oliveira. Of course, all the way throughout this rebuild, I'm going to be trying to sign Portuguese players and Portuguese talent. That is the point of this video. But we need to make sure it's actually good Portuguese players, you know what I mean? I'm not just going to sign Andy from down the street just because he claims to have had Nando's once in his life. But yeah, boys, Sergio Oliveira comes in. I mean, I think he's a pretty good midfielder. He only costs us £2 million as well. I'll take that. But the marquee signing of this summer is Frenkie de Jong. Now, Frenkie de Jong came up for £10 million, and we actually sold Ivan Cavallero for £11 million. I have no idea what his potential is. I have no idea how good he can become, but I know Frenkie de Jong in real life is an absolute baller. So he comes in, he's going to be our playmaker in midfield. Already got the vision, the first touch. I'm hoping he develops with us and stays with us for this next 5 years. For the tactic, we're using a 4-3-3 with the 3 strikers up front. I've actually been using this tactic over on Twitch, which if you're not following, by the way, twitch.tv/BigRobbo14. Pretty much stream every day, loads of different Football Manager content. But this tactic was used on a Leicester save that I'm doing at the moment. It's absolutely amazing. I've just won the league with Leicester on Twitch with this tactic, so I'm hoping this tactic's going to be good enough to take us out of the championship, score a load of goals, have a load of fun with these Portuguese players. With the objective set, the tactic made, the Portuguese players in the starting 11, we are ready to simulate Season 1. But before we simulate Season 1, if you're watching this and you're seeing me for the first time and you've not subscribed, what are you doing, mate? When you see this simulating screen come up, I think you actually just need to go down below and click subscribe and click like and leave a comment to say how good this Ronaldo 2003-2005 Black Manchester United kit looks. Let's simulate Season 1. You can tell everybody, go ahead and tell everybody, we're going to the Prem, to the Prem, to the Prem. That is right, ladies and gentlemen. Would God's gift let you down? First season, first promotion, and first place. Of course, boys, that is already ticking off our first objective of getting into the Premier League. We've actually also won a trophy in the Championship. Now, I'm going to claim it because if by the time season 5 I haven't won anything, that's what's going on the thumbnail. But if we click into the season, boys, we did manage to win the title by 5 points. We've Preston also coming up with us, which is quite interesting. We had a 45 goal difference. As you can see in the goals, we had Helder Costa getting 24, Lys Mousset on loan getting 23, which seems to have been a great signing. In the average ratings, we've got Lys Mousset, Helder Costa, Philippe Ossoff-Aye, Ruben Neves in there with the yellows getting stuck in. I like it. If we look at the stats for the league, what we wanted to do was score the most goals with our 3 up front, and we have with 102. We've also actually had the most possession with 60, which I'm quite surprised at. If you look at the squad's numbers, as you can see, a lot of players have done really well. Helder Costa's had a great season. Mousset, Rossi chipping in with a few goals. Michael Zyro, no idea who he is, but he's done all right. Diogo Jota's played 21 and scored 7. He must have had an injury because I did lock him in, but I mean, even in 21, even if he was injured, 21 games and 7 goals, that's abysmal for Diogo Jota. I thought he was going to do well better. Frankie de Jong's not had a bad first season in England, getting 5 goals and 4 assists from midfield, nearly getting that 7 average rating. Sergio Oliveira as well, getting 14 contributions from midfield. Matt Doherty at right back, actually doing all right as well, even though in real life he is turd. But yeah, I mean, a successful season. 5th round of the FA Cup as well is actually not too bad. Getting close to that quarterfinals, getting knocked out by Derby, which is quite rough. And 3rd rounded in the Carabao by West Ham. But listen, this season, the objective was to get into Premier League, secure that Premier League moolah, and we have. If I show you my budget for the Premier League season, we've got £37 million, which is decent. Not a lot, but decent. Of course, boys, on this database as well, I don't have a Scooby-Doo who's good, who would need to look out for. I'm going in blind. And just very quickly, of course, boys, if you see any tactics that I use on these rebuilds, or if you want to actually carry on my rebuilds when I finish at the end of season 5, all of my tactics and rebuild files go onto my Patreon for just £2 a month. My Patreon is half the price of a meal deal. Deep that. For the whole month, you get Wonder Kid filter finders, you get all the tactics that dominate, everything that God's gift does, God gives access to. So if you want to check out the Patreon, link is in the description. But lads, alas, we set voyage for the Premier League. I'm going to do some transfers. Let's see who we can bring in to this Wolves side. I feel like I've just aged about 400 years in that transfer window. Do you know how hard it is to find players for this Wolves team? Got the reputation of Slavia Prague. I'm in the Premier League. Anyway, boys, let's actually try and show you who we have signed. First up, coming through the door, we've got Florinel Coleman. Never heard of the bloke. 20 years old, good potential. Do you know when you see wanted and it's like Arsenal, Newcastle, all that lot? That's what I seen and I thought, he must be half decent. But if you look at a lot of his stats, he's got a lot of 14s, got a lot of 15s across the board. He could develop into a very good all-round striker, and he also plays all across the front four if you ever want to change the tactic. This man cost us £7 million. I think that's not a bad deal. 20 years old, already consistent as well. Looking forward to see what he can do. And this is what I mean when I'm telling you, nobody wants to play for Wolves. I've brought in Tyrone Mings at left back. Tyrone Mings at left back. I mean, to be fair to him, 13 crossing and dribbling, 17 pace. I mean, he's got the mental ability of a child, but apart from that, he's quick, he can tackle, and he can somewhat cross. He's 6'5". Maybe win a few headers for me at the back post. I don't know. He cost me 2.9 million. This is either going to be genius or complete stupidity. But the marquee signing, boys, of this season is Mr. Lee Griffiths. Now, that trim concerns me. But what he gives me reminiscences of is a scruffy number 9. 16 finishing, good technique, decent pace off the ball, anticipation, aggression. I'm hoping this guy just torments defenders over the season. He actually cost me £10 million. He was quite expensive, but he's 27. Resilient personality. I am pretty much putting all my eggs in one basket for him to score the goals. The next signing we brought in for £8 million, boys, was Max Cruz. Now, I'd actually heard of this guy, so it was quite refreshing to see someone that I'd actually heard of. Max Cruz, 30 years old. He's going to play as a deep line forward, and he actually suits it really well. His mentals are great. His physicals are still quite decent, both-footed. A consistent player as well. He could be a very good player for us on the sly. Next up, boys, we've signed an absolute, just a good throwback English centre-back, and he also hates Liverpool, makes me even better. Big James Tarkowski. You know he's putting his studs into shins. He joins us. He's actually a very, very good defender. He cost me £12 million. Another centre-back has also entered the building to partner James Tarkowski. It is Boyata. He comes in as a leader, a model citizen personality. He's going to be a great signing for us. A voice at the back. Him and James at the back. That is Premier League. And the final signing, boys, in between the sticks was Livakovic for £12 million. Now, if you boys played the old FM times, FM 18, 19, 20. Livakovic used to be a great keeper, and when he came up, the nostalgia hit me. Now, I know what you're thinking. Robbo, I ain't seen a Portuguese player there, bud. Well, let me tell you something. I don't know what has happened this year, but there's been an extinction of Portuguese players. Honestly, there is nobody available. Ruben Vinagre was on loan. I couldn't even sign him with my reputation. I genuinely have the reputation of a League One club. There was no Portuguese players that I could sign, but I'm going to make up for it in season 3. I promise you. When we become, hopefully, a Premier League settled team, hopefully people actually look at me and think, all right, mate, we'll actually play for him. It's a joke. Anyway, less moaning, more tactics. Now, boys, this is what we're looking like for season 2. We're going to lock in at that same midfield. I'm going to make sure Lee Griffiths is playing as my advanced forward. Boyata isn't going in my best 11 when I pick it, and Livakovic is in net. As you can see on the side here, though, we've still got Costa, Oliveira and Neves. We've got the 3 Portuguese lads who are going to be playing week in, week out in this Wolves team. If you also didn't know what 2018-19 now Premier League looks like, this is what it looks like. Of course, you've got your Arsenals, Uniteds and all that, but you've got teams like QPR up here, Stoke, Southampton when they weren't just fodder. It's going to be an interesting season. Now, I actually am quietly confident. Should we check the season preview? We're previewed to finish 16th. I do think we can avoid a relegation battle. I think we can actually end up in that 14th, 13th, 12th region. I really do. Of course, it's a Premier League, though, with De Gea, De Bruyne, Pogba, Coutinho, Harry Kane. It's going to be an interesting season, lads. The first season in the Premier League. Remember, back to our objective. We just need to survive this season, stay in the Premier League, gain that Premier League money, and then we attack that transfer window. Let's see what we can do in our first season in the Premier League with the Portuguese Wolves boys. You're going to find out at the same time as me, because I'm going to scroll down, and as you can see, that only goes from 1st to 15th. And if I am in a relegation zone, you probably won't see this video. Everyone at home, on your couch, your TV, your bed, with whatever you've got in your hand, pray for me. Please, please, please. Oh my, we're not 16th, okay. If I scroll down and do not see Wolves highlighted in yellow in 17th, I'm going to lose my head. Oh, it's a masterclass. It's a masterclass in season 2. Oh, well, look at that. All we wanted was survival. We survived by a huge gap as well. We were never going down. Unbelievable season from the Wolverhampton lads. Surviving by that huge gap. See you later, West Brom. See you later, Preston. And see you later, Crystal Palace. Jesus, that could have been absolutely awful. Well, there you go, lads. I mean, season 2, we do survive in the Premier League. Objective is complete. I mean, Huddersfield had a minus 60 goal difference and finished above us. I don't know how that works. In the FA Cup, we were knocked out in the 4th round by Sheff Wednesday. Not bothered about that. But the semi-final of the Carabao, a little cup run with a relegation scrap. We got semi-finaled by Leicester City, who went on to play Southampton in the final as well. Oh, that was a big chance. I mean, I'm saying it's a big chance like we would have won it. We probably would have got 11 off Southampton in the final, but we could have been to a final against a team that weren't one of the top 6. I mean, what went wrong this season? If I look at the squad-wise and the goals, you know, I'm seeing 12, 11, 9, 4, you know, I want to say there's at least 50, 60 goals in that group there, maybe. Was it our defence? Could we just not defend? Let's look at the stats for the season. I mean, most goals were Liverpool. I mean, we're not going to be in there. We're not going to be in the fewest conceded. Well, that makes a lot of sense. Just going to move the webcam for you, boys. We actually conceded 87 goals this season. That would probably make up why we ended up 8-17. Maybe the 3 strikers up front when you actually have a championship quality team is not the play. We're probably going to change tactic in season 3. The objective was to survive in the Premier League, and that we have done. Let's have a look through some of our young players, see how they developed. I mean, Coleman was a player we brought in with not much knowledge. I mean, he has definitely developed the finishing, composure, the off the ball, the pace. He could be an amazing player next season for us. Of course, we've got Ruben Neves in midfield. If you look at him now as well, 17 passing, 17 vision, composure, decisions. He's playing absolutely amazing for us. Of course, we've got Frankie de Jong in midfield now, who's 22 years old. First touches, improved vision off the ball, composure, the agility, the physicals. I think we're on the cusp of our players developing into good Premier League players. I'm sure next season will be better. But next season, lads, we've got a £44 million budget. We're going to have a huge transfer window. But again, lads, we've completed our objective of getting to the Premier League, surviving in the Premier League. Now we need to go and find the best Portuguese talent and the best young players to help build our Wolves team and challenge for titles and trophies. Let's go into season 3 and see what God's gift can do. Yes, the boys, welcome back to season 3. It is time to make some major signings for this Wolves team. We only just survived in the Premier League last season, but I've brought in a cavalry. Let me show you who I've brought in. First off, coming through the door, we've got former wonder kid Reece Oxford. Now, Reece Oxford come through the academy with Declan Rice. Deckers who banged in them 2 free kicks against Madrid. In fact, when I'm recording this, Madrid are playing tonight against Arsenal in that second leg, and I'm telling you there's going to be no remontado, whatever they call it. Anyway, Reece Oxford looks unbelievable. Pacey, good on the ball, modern day centre back. He did cost me 25 million though. Next up, barreling through the Wolves door is Miggy Almiron. The Newcastle legend comes in, a very hard-working midfielder, good on the ball, a ball carrier, pacey, good. He's going to get at his man. He's going to be a menace in the Premier League, and we only signed him for 6 million from the MLS. Bargain. And on loan, I needed an old-fashioned English brute who's going to come in and lead my line, and that's Charlie Austin on loan. If you've seen the interview he did in the Premier League where he had that bloodshot eye and he's going mad at the reporter, listen, that's not him moaning. That's what you call passion. That's what Bruno Fernandes gets mistaken with. What a player Charlie Austin is though, 17 finishing, 16 off the ball. You think I'm not pouncing on that? I am. Welcome into the club for 1 season, Charlie. And potentially the best signing of the window is Nico Barella. Now, I don't want to say he's like a Rude Hullet Ultimate Team card just yet, but he's reminding me of a Leroy Fer FIFA 17 Swansea card, if you know, you know. Maybe in a bit of a Johan Cabaye 81 rated non-rare gold. Nico Barella looks class. He cost me 20 million pounds, he's now worth 60. And we have got our unbelievable Portuguese signing, the one the fans wanted. It's Cedric. Cedric at right back. But let me tell you something, lads. There are either no Portuguese players existing in this era of football, or none of them like Wolverhampton. Probably the second one, because I probably won't want to go stay in Wolverhampton either. But Cedric comes through the door, 17 pace at right back, 14 tackling, Arsenal legend. Let's see how we can get on. We've got another Portuguese lad joining as well in Andre Moreira. I'm taking a chance on this keeper. Last season, Lovakovic conceded 87 goals in the Premier League. He may as well have been an hologram, or he may as well not have even been stood in the net. So he's out, and Moreira's in. Moreira, do me well. You're 6'5", dominate the box. And finally, we've got a race to the Division 1 legend. If you know, you know. If there's a few lads like me who grew up on that era of YouTube, you know Seydou Doumbia. 16 finishing, 16 composure, bit of pace left in the tank. I'm expecting a few goals off the bench. And finally, we've brought in Josh Timon on loan at left back. He's just going to be a backup, but he actually looks pretty decent. He might end up playing, to be fair. But yeah, decent player, wonder kid from Stoke. Good crossing, pace. Tactically though, this is where Robbo has got his fingers in. I've put my fingers right in. I've gone for a 4-1-2-1-2 narrow. Now, reasoning. I have a lot of good midfielders, okay? I couldn't find a lot of good wide players. I was going to play a 4-3-3. So now, I'm going to have a midfield. De Jong, Barella, Ruben Neves, Almiron, Oliveira. All these players are going to rotate in midfield and play. We've got Coleman up front still from season 1, who was amazing in that season. I hope he can flourish better in this system. We've got Almiron being locked in, De Jong, Reece Oxford coming into play games. Tarkowski as well, didn't play enough games last season. Captain material at the back is James Tarkowski. He's going to lead these Wolves boys. But we're just going for this 4-1-2-1-2. Wing-backs getting high, pushing up higher up the pitch. Let's see how it does. Of course, in the Premier League this season, we're hoping for better than a 17th place finish. And just to remind you boys what the Premier League looks like 3 seasons in, you've still got your Bernardo Silvas, your Pogbas, your Lukakus, your Kanes, Anthony Martial's like Henry on this, De Bruyne. Somehow Victor Lindelof is in a Premier League best 11. I can't believe what I'm looking at. It's probably about time we simulate this season. At this point, boys, you're going to expect me to fly off my chair for what you're about to see. Maybe throw my chair at the wall. Maybe start screaming, hands behind the head, thumbnail face. But the thing is, I call myself God's gift at Football Manager. And the evidence that's mounting up is undeniable. Now, as I show you the game screen here, you're probably sat there watching on tablet, phone, TV, PC, whatever you're watching on, and you're thinking, how have you just took a team from 17th to 6th in the table with only 10 losses and 70 points, only not getting 5th because of goal difference, and winning the FA Cup? And I will reply with one phrase: God's gift at Football Manager. Because this is what I continue to do. Whether it's on Twitch, YouTube, I do it. If you've not subscribed already, if you've not liked already, subscribe and like the video. Look what I'm doing with teams. But let's click into this Premier League season. As you can see, it's a 6th place finish. We've qualified for the Europa League. We've actually got Europe. I didn't even expect to do that. We finished on 70 points, which is obviously miles better than last season. We've got nobody on the stats on the right, but what that tells me is that everyone has put their part in on this season. There's goal scorers all over the pitch. There's players getting assists all over the pitch. And of course, there in all its glory, the FA Cup. If we look at our route to the final, it was Coventry away in the first round that we just dealt with 3-1. not even a problem, that. And then in the 4th round, they handed another bye. Why are they giving us byes in the FA Cup? We played Burton, 2-0 win, comfortable, probably played the 4th team. And then in the 5th round, we absolutely annihilated Wolves 1-0. They didn't have a chance on the day. They couldn't stop the ball going in the back of the net. We then move on to the quarter-final, where we just narrowly go past Everton 6-1. 6-1. Battered. And then in the semi-final, I don't know if this was at Wembley or Stamford Bridge, but we do beat Chelsea. This is a Chelsea, by the way, with a prime Eden Hazard. This was around the time he moved to Real Madrid, and I'm here beating him 2-1. So easy. And then in the final, God's gift delivers, a 2-1 win. And if we look at that final, it's Florinel Coleman getting the 2 goals in the 11th minute and the 71st. This is a Tottenham team. Harry Kane, Eriksen, Pulisic, Son. These aren't teams that are easy to walk over, but I do it. If we look at the squad, boys, Florinel Coleman lead the line this season with 22 goals. He's had an outstanding season. Helder Costa as well, who was here when we started at the club, got 17 goals and 7 assists. I think he actually plays up front for me now, but he does so well. He got 14 Premier League goals this season. I mean, you look at him, you won't think it, but he's been amazing in this rebuild. A bit of a dark horse. We've also got Barella having a decent season with 7 goal contributions. Almiron getting 8 goals and 5 assists. We've got Timon at left back getting 11 assists as well. But if we look at the average ratings too, a lot of players played well this season, including Andre Moreira, our new keeper. If we look at him, there's a lot of development on him as well, and he actually only conceded 45 in the Premier League compared to Livakovic's 87. Also getting 10 clean sheets, a 7 average rating. He was a very, very good signing. He cost me 500 grand. What a keeper, and he's Portuguese, even better. Next season, boys, we have got £46 million to spend on this Wolves team. Of course, this season we also tick off an objective of winning a trophy in England. We've won some silverware, but now it's time to compete in Europe and show Europe what these Wolves boys have about them. Let's get into season's 4 transfers and let's see how we can renovate this team geared for Europe. Rise FMers. Right, lads, we are back. Now, this is the part of the rebuild where we start signing marquee players. I feel like we've got a good squad now. As you can see, last season, everybody was contributing. It's now time to find real talent and players that are going to take this club up the league and up into them Champions League places. Starting off in midfield, we bring in Ronaldo Vieira, another Portuguese lad. This lad's got amazing first touch, passing, vision, composure. Physicals are great. He looks very, very well suited to the Premier League. He comes in for 15 million from Leeds. Also coming through the door, boys, is Gabriel Martinelli. When this guy came up on the scouting page, I had to sign him. Of course, a player now who I wouldn't say has fulfilled his potential in real life, but he is a good Premier League player, comes in. We have loaned him out to the beautiful place of MK Dons. I'm sure he's going to enjoy it there. And another lad coming in is Dennis Mann. Another Romanian actually comes into the club for £8 million. There's a lot of Romanians going on in this rebuild, Robbo. You know, what am I thinking here? Is Romania a nice place? Have they got beautiful women? You know what I mean? I don't care if they've got beautiful women anyway. I've got a girlfriend. I love my girlfriend. Anyway, Dennis Mann comes in. He's a number 10, a striker. He kind of looks a bit like my other striker, Akinole, or whatever his name is. But he looks decent, pacey, good mentals, finishing's 15. I'm expecting him to chip in with a few goals this season. Next up, boys, we bring in Axel Actas, the Frenchman, in midfield. Again, he's another midfielder who can either play cam or in them centre mid positions. A bit of a playmaker, a Met Salah, if you like. He looks very good though, very well rounded. There's just a lot of 15s everywhere. He cost me £13 million. Apparently he's got a decent potential as well, so he could develop with us. Excited to see what he can do. Also, what a beautiful face. And at right back, lads, oh, I've been waiting for this one. Omega Luke did a video recently where Omega Dad told him, but I've signed Neom. Sorry, Tidges. Neom comes in though, 15 pace, 15 tackling, good work rate, good strength. He's going to be a menace down that right flank, a bit of a Valencia type. But when I told you, boys, it was time to make a marquee signing, Big Verge enters my back line. Good tackling, good pace, 19 strength, 18 jumping reach, 18 heading. You know them front post corners are going to be naughty this year. He comes in for a total of £70 million, a bit similar to what Liverpool paid for him. But I'm very, very confident that he's going to be the type of player that takes us into them Champions League places and helps us compete in Europe. If we look tactically, boys, not much is changing. We're keeping Reece Oxford in the team to make sure he plays ahead of Tarkowski and keeps developing. Obviously, Van Dijk's going to play at the other centre-back position. Cedric is obviously going to play right back. Neves is going to be in that DM. But don't worry, boys. We've still got the Portuguese boys in the team. Helder Costa is still here. Oliveira is still here. Helder Costa will be going up front, so we are keeping that Portuguese blood in the starting 11. Obviously, this season, boys, we are competing in the Premier League. We are competing in the Euro Cup, the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup. Forgot to mention as well, keeping the same tactic. I mean, after last season, the way they performed with it, it clearly works. So I'm hoping it weren't just a one-season wonder, and in this second season, now they're familiar with the tactic as well, they can build on this. Let's see what we can do, boys, in this season 4. See if we can climb up that Premier League table. And could we even win a Europa League? Could you imagine? Let's see what we can do. FMers, do you know when you use a tactic and, like, you know, you think it's going to work well and, like, you know, you think you've done well and you think you've made a good tactic and you're buzzing and you're using the tactic and you're thinking, yeah, this is me next season. Yeah, FMers, we fell down to 8th place in the table. I mean, we're on 55 points this season. That's 15 less than last. I mean, still 8th place in the Premier League. You know, last season was just an amazing season. I mean, if we would have got 70 points this season, we would have been 6th again or 5th with Chelsea. But still, I'll take 8th place in the league. You know, this Wolves team, it's not the most amazing team in the league. I think we've still done well. If we look at the stats on the right, Neom got 11 assists this season and Helder Costa got 10. Still a player, Helder Costa. Been here since the Championship, a bit of a club legend at this point. I mean, the top goal scorers now, you've got players like Alexandre Lacazette popping up. Harry Kane's still in the Premier League. Sam Vokes at Burnley. But the thing is, lads, what I do, I'm a box of tricks. I'm full of surprises. You think I was leaving you boys this season with an 8th place finish in the Premier League? Get there, Leo. Don't you ever think, once I obtain success, that I don't build with it? Look at it there in all its glory. The Euro Cup. Now listen, boys. This tactic's going to be available on my Patreon, the cheapest Patreon on Football Manager. It's only £2 a month. Go check it out, link in the description, if you want any save game files or tactics. And what I continue to do is make great tactics that win great things. Say hello to my Europa League at Wolves. Come on! But let's have a look at that route to the final. As you can see in the league phase, we were unbelievable, getting 7 wins. Did we have any big wins in there? We beat Nice 3-0, Ludogorets 7-0, Sporting Lisbon away 5-2, and we drew to AZ at home 3-3, but we probably just gave them the points because we felt generous. If we look at the round of 16, we actually went over to Greece to Panathinaikos and we won 3-0 over the 2 legs. In the quarterfinals, they thought they'd challenge us with Fiorentina and we just absolutely obliterated them 6-1. How embarrassing to give us Fiorentina, thinking that's going to test us and try and knock us out of this. We then move on to the semi-final, where it actually is an all Premier League semi-final, and we win 4-3. We actually came back from 3-0 down to win 4-3. Can you imagine the spirit of the Molineux in that team? And then we go on to the final, and listen, after coming back from a 3-0 semi-final loss and winning 4-3 to get to the final, do you think we weren't going to win the final? Of course we were going to win the final. 4-0. 4-0 against Sporting Lisbon. Ooh, I was going to say a word then. Levered. I'll change my vocab. And I will view that match report, because what's great to see is that the signings we're making are working. Reece Oxford, Helder Costa, still turning up Helder Costa in the big games. Miggy Almiron and Tobias Figueiredo probably wanted to sign for me by scoring an own goal. I'm not signing you. It is great to see how well this Wolves team is doing. And as you can see by the bottom left, Ronaldo Vieira, Portuguese lad, Cedric Portuguese, Moreira Portuguese, Neves Portuguese. The Portuguese of Wolves is providing. Seydou Doumbia actually got 2 assists as well in that game. What a goal. But yeah, boys, what an unbelievable season. This means in the final season, we actually have Champions League football. We get to see what we can do in the Champions League. If we look at the goals of this season, again, Coleman up front, Helder Costa and Dennis Mann, that front three this season were unbelievable. I think there's something like a combined 70 goals there and 30 assists. Very, very good from that front three. I can't believe how good Helder Costa's doing. 41 goal contributions as a winger playing up front. He's amazing. Nico Brella's had a good season this season as well. There's still a little bit of development on him to go, but he's looking good. Aktas, the summer signing in midfield, also doing decent, getting 18 goal contributions. Reece Oxford getting 8 goals this season. Almiron picking up goals. Van Dijk getting a 7 average rating. Only getting 5 goals. I actually expected a few more from set pieces, but assists as well. Neom down the line doing well. Cedric also doing well. Just a very, very good season overall. And for the Champions League, boys, the board have rewarded us with a £53 million budget. Let's go do some Champions League transfers and let's see what we can do in this 5th and final season. Yes, boys, welcome back to the Champions League Wolves season. It is now season 5, the last season of the video. I just want to say as well, if you are somebody that watches all the way through these videos and you get to season 5, I want you to leave a comment saying Helder Costa is a GOAT striker. Or maybe just leave a comment for any rebuild ideas as well. Of course, now we've got this 17-18 retro database. There's a whole world of teams we can explore. Of course, I like to do my teams with a little bit of a twist, like today, Wolves trying to keep that Portuguese theme in the team. If you can leave a rebuild with a twist, that's even better. But thank you so much to everyone that gets this far in the video. Thank you for commenting, thank you for liking and subscribing, and just thank you for allowing me what I do. Anyway, less of the soppy bollocks, more transfers. DeMarco enters the building, boys, for 30 million. The Italian left-back comes in. Very pacey, a good crossing stat. We all know DeMarco in real life at Inter is unbelievable down that left flank. I'm hoping he can do the same for me here. He's not got quite the same ability, but he's got 14 crossing. He's got good pace. Very, very well-rounded. I'm hoping he's going to be good. The next transfer that actually comes through the door is probably the best of the whole video. £13 million for Marco Larsson. When you get into Season 5 on your retro databases, boys, have a look out for this lad. I don't know if he comes through a youth academy. I don't know if he's a real player, or I don't know if he's actually just a regen. But this guy looks absolutely unbelievable. 18 passing, 17 vision, 18 composure. The kid's 18 years old. He turns 19 in November. Absolutely insane stats. He's going to be starting him in my midfield. I can't wait to see how well he does. That is a proper Champions League quality player. Next up on a freebie, boys, just as a backup, we've got Michy Batshuayi. This guy used to be unbelievable on FIFA as well, but I thought for a free signing, he's still got decent pace, jumping reach off the ball, finishing's decent, first touch. At 27 years old, he can be a very, very good option off the bench or starting in games if needs to. Michy Batshuayi comes in. I think he's actually going to be a bit of a dark horse this season. He's going to score some sly goals for me. We also brought in a loan this season, boys, just to help us in the midfield, in Phil Foden, 21 years old. Of course, we know Phil Foden's got a lot of potential, still probably got a lot of potential in real life as well that he's not fulfilled. He could be better than what he is now. But we all know what Phil Foden's about. A good dribbler of the ball, decent finishing, agile, pacey. He's going to either play in that midfield again or in that number 10 position. I think he could be a good backup for us this year. And finally, boys, one more signing that came through the door on a freebie after being released was Henrik Mkhitaryan. I absolutely loved Mkhitaryan at Man United. I think he actually was a very good player, a very clever player on the pitch. He's 32 years of age now here, but he's both-footed. His physicals look really good. The natural fitness is good. The technical ability is good. The mentals are good. I think we've got a really, really good free transfer here. He's a very consistent player, a bit of an older head in the dressing room. I'm excited to see what he can do in this 5th and final season, bring a bit of experience into that team. And I know you boys might have probably been wanting a tactic change, but I don't really want to change it. I'm actually very happy with the tactic, with the players that we're signing. We've got a lot of quality midfielders now. Larsson's coming. Like we say, Ruben Neves, Almiron. Morgan Gibbs-White is actually coming into the Premier League team this season as well after a few very good loans. He looks like a good attacking midfielder. We've still got Dennis Mann. We've got Duncan, Barella. There's a lot of good midfielders in this team. I think we need to keep it all central. And of course, this season, boys, we are competing along all fronts. The Premier League, the Champions League, and of course, the 2 English Cups. If we look at our final squad before we simulate the season, we've now got players who have actually got somewhat world-class ability in Coleman, Larsson, Neves, Van Dijk, Mkhitaryan, Dennis Mann. We've got a lot of quality in this team now. But let's simulate this final season, boys. Can we have a good Champions League run to end this video? Can we actually get into Champions League places in the Premier League to end the video? Let's see what we can do in this final season. Come on, the Wolves! The final season is done. The Portuguese Wolves, boys, are finished. Let's see where we finished in the Premier League. You know what, boys? It's tough. It's a 9th place finish. I mean, it's the lowest of the last 3 seasons. I mean, as you can see in the Premier League, the downfall we had this season was drawing a lot of games. 12 draws. As you can see, boys, if I highlight over the draws, there's a lot of 1-1s, 3-3s, 2-2, like Sheff Wednesday at home 2-2. They got relegated. There's just a lot of games there where we're either conceding too many or just not seeing games out or not scoring enough goals. We were very, very much an in-between team this season. Obviously, if you convert 3 or 4 of them draws into wins, we're looking at being in 5th, 6th, qualifying for Europe again. Unfortunately though, boys, it wasn't meant to be. What's good to see though is that if I move my camera again for you boys, is that Dennis Mann actually got 20 Premier League goals this season. We finally got someone who's getting in them Premier League stat tallies. Michy Batshuayi as well. I told you, an average rating of 7.33. He was going to be a dark horse this season. He did very well. But yeah, boys, it's a 9th place finish. The top 4, Chelsea, Tottenham, somehow Stoke City are in the top 4. I don't know what's going on. Man United and Arsenal. So the league does look pretty similar, but it's a shame we just couldn't get into them Champions League places. I mean, if Stoke could do it, then I could do it. If we look at the season preview now for the best players in the league, you've got Courtois in net, John Stones, Soulé at the back, Jesus, Lukaku, Bernardo Silva, Pogba. It's a very, very good Premier League. But if we look at the other competitions, boys, as well, we did not win the Champions League. I don't think you're surprised. We did get to the round of 16 though, so that means we did make it through the league phase. If we actually look at that league phase, we came 14th in the league phase. I'm pretty proud of that. We picked up 4 wins. We beat Arsenal in the Champions League, Atletico Madrid. So the Wolves fans had some good nights in the Champions League. You know what I mean? That's what it's about when you get into the Champions League as a one-off. We picked up a draw to Lyon, but we did lose 3 games. We actually went away to Madrid and PSG. I mean, we've got Wolves playing at the Bernabeu. That's a success within itself. In the knockout playoff round, we actually went on to play Villarreal, where we beat them 5-4. That was a close game. And then in the round of 16, lads, we were defeated by Liverpool 4-2. I mean, we actually gave ourselves a chance in the second leg, but Liverpool were just too strong. scoring 3 goals. If we look into that Liverpool team, as you can see, Firmino, Coutinho, Lallana, Mohamed Salah is in this Liverpool team. Emre Can, Henderson, Robertson, you know, it's a lot of what it looks like in real life. Unlucky though, I guess. Also, boys, in the FA Cup, we were knocked out in the 3rd round by Bristol City, which is awful. We killed all hopes of a cup run there. And in the Carabao Cup, we were actually knocked out in the quarter-final by Man United, who actually went on to win. In the 4th round, again, we defeated Newcastle, but in that quarter-final, when we did face the best team in the world, we were beaten 2-1. We were at home as well. I feel like maybe we could have done something there, but hey-ho. I mean, listen, boys, it has been an amazing rebuild. We've completed all of our objectives. We've been signing the Portuguese talent. We've won trophies in England. We've actually won in Europe somehow. We're a mid-table team now with also pushing for them European places, which I think in 5 years from the Championship is very, very commendable. That's the word I'm looking for. But let's show you the final squad screen of this season. And I told you, I actually can't believe what I'm looking at. Michy Batshuayi got 23 goals. I knew he would just be good. He just had the FM stats and 17 starts and 26 off the bench. Dennis Mann had another good season with 22. Coleman didn't have as good a season this year, only getting 16 goals. Helder Costa as well was pushed out with the team. I think that was for Michy Batshuayi, but still getting 15 goal contributions. Mkhitaryan did decent. If we look at Marco Larsson as well, the wonder kid that I signed, that genuinely might be one of the best wonder kid midfielders I've ever seen in my life. Look out for him on your databases. But yeah, boys, that is the end of the rebuild. As you can see, the Portuguese lads are still in the team. Cedric, Costa, Neves, Moreira, Sergio Oliveira is still here. I'm actually going to quickly show you the best Portuguese players on this database who are interested in us. As you can see, this is what I was saying by these like no Portuguese players. I mean, Bruma's a new one. I didn't see him before. And Carlos Mane, I've not seen him before. But it was players like Nuno Santos, Armando, Rodriguez. Like, these players just aren't good enough to play for us, so we couldn't sign them. These players wouldn't have got in the starting 11, so it just would have been signing for the sake of them. I mean, Diogo Costa's a new one. I mean, we could have looked at him, but he's worth 100 mil. If we're taking the interested in transfer off, look, there's so many other players. João Pedro, João Felix, Guedes, Vitinha, Andre Silva, Guerrero, Andre Gomez, Renato, Bruno Fernandes. They were just never interested in signing for us, unfortunately. But if you boys take over this rebuild, you can now probably sign these better players with being in Champions League football, the reputation improving. But I'm still happy, you know, Ruben Neves, Helder Costa, these players have been legends. Moreira in net. But boys, that is the final season completed. I hope you enjoyed this rebuild. I am going to do some more retro rebuilds on this database because it's just so fun to have all of these new players. If you've made it this far in the video, thank you so much. Please make sure you like and subscribe. If you want to carry on this rebuild yourself, when this video is released on my Patreon, the save game file from the end of Season 5 and all of the tactics will be attached to a post. Of course, the Patreon is only £2 a month. It helps support me as a creator as well. Thank you to everyone that is already on the Patreon. We have like 200 members now, which is insane. Also, a massive shout out to Mr. Teeny23, the man who puts these databases together. If you want to go check out his Patreon, it's Mr. Teeny23, Mr. TINI23 on Patreon, where you can get this database for yourself with all the graphics, all the faces. He does amazing work, so go show him some support as well. But FMers, thank you for watching another rebuild video. Keep on rising, and I'll see you on the next video, boys. Peace out.